So welcome to this session. So as I start, it's a wonderful topic. I did not even challenge Father Johnny. In fact, he's given me an opportunity to change the topic. But I said, it's so apt in the 21st century. Why do we need to change such a beautiful topic? Because if you even see on research done by Gallup, they found out that when you talk about the engagement of a student, it's very high at the elementary level. But at the elementary level, you see around 76% of engagement. But as they go middle school, you see it drops to 61%. But further down, as they go to high school, their engagement goes to run about 44%, which is a sad story. And that is where you all are a witness how kids are so engaging when they are in the primary level. But as they go on, you see the engagement level drops. It is research proven by Gallup. So today, I thought, in the midst of leaders, let's get the ball rolling. And today we're talking about a lot of things. However, let's start first the 3 C's as educators. So we're going to do a lot of exercises. We're going to do a lot of activities. But the first one, I thought the 3 C's that we need is that we need for a collaborative effort. You see, when we are collaborating together, that is where we see changes. That's where we see results. And today, the world is so in a collaborative mode. Today, we're all about networking. If we're not networking in this era, and you see me, myself, and I, then we are doomed. Because now people, you cannot master all the skills, all the competencies that are available. So let's collaborate, right? Okay, so this is where we are called as educators. The first C, where we're gonna engage, we're gonna motivate. I cannot do alone. We cannot do as individual. It's a collaborative effort. So what I encourage you, whatever you learn from here, take back to your schools and colleges and say, let's collaborate. Because the first C as leader is collaborate. I guess we all got it, and we can come out with a beautiful picture. Now it reminds me when I was in, KGs, when I was in just kindergarten, my teacher may be struggling to teach me a bit of arithmetic, addition, subtraction, all right, multiplication. So I'm sure I'm gonna test my teachers now as a student of, some great leaders here. So let's see how good you are with arithmetic. Can you prove your arithmetic right? Let's see that. Okay. Is this correct or wrong? Is this correct or wrong? I still have a 50-50. Is this correct or wrong? All right, now sounds better. So you say it's correct. You see, it is correct. 10 minus 5 is 5. And you know what? It's not wrong to just stay there and say 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. This is how it used to be. 10 minus 5 is 5. But then you know what? You can add a little change towards improvement. You can add a little change. And you know what? If you add a little change, what happened to the value? Wow! It just increased by 3 times. What did you do? Just a little. It was a minus. I add 1 vertical stroke, and the value changes 3 times. Of course, there is a little growth here. And then you say, hey, I got to add a little bit more. I got to engage a little bit more. I got to motivate a little bit more. Can I add a little bit more? And you know what? You did a little bit of angle changes. Is the value the same? It has gone from 5 to 50. That shows a 10 times increase. Not bad. Not bad with a 10 times increase. And then you know what? You add a little change. And once you gain the momentum of bringing that change, gradually, it doesn't go 3 times, it doesn't go 5 times, it doesn't go 10 times. It start gaining momentum and start going and having an exponential growth. From 10 plus 5, what you did, you add another vertical to that plus, and it became 1045. This is the power of educators when they are willing to bring a change in their institutions. From gradual change, which is insignificant. Sir, from 5 to 15, we are growing here in Agartala. You don't understand, sir, it's Garo Hills. Or I'm in a remote place. But that small change that you're adding can one day bring an exponential growth. So this is how we get engaged. And this is exactly what we require. C number 2 is adapt to change of our comfort zone. And the challenge is we don't want to come out of a comfort zone. This is what it used to be. The previous principal did this. The teachers, they're old, and then what happened is, I'm going to share with you the challenge of adapt to change. A story from a village. There's a farmer, he has a chicken, and I was told this is a true story, okay? So he has his chicken, he has a poultry farm, but the problem with his poultry farm is that his farm is at a lower level, and during monsoon, it gets flooded. So every time when monsoon comes, the chicken dies. But then for years, it has been generation for years. He said, what do I do? So one fine day, his friend turned up and said, how is business? He says, story as usual. It's monsoon, it's my off season, my birds are dying. And this has happened for years. He said, why don't you do something else? Why don't you, think of something else? He said, no, it's been years. There's nothing I can do. I cannot sell this farm. It's my ancestral property, and I cannot control the rain. So there's nothing I can do. I have to just embrace every monsoon, my birds dies. That's it. Then his friend suggested him something. He said, hey, why don't you do something in summer, you rear ducks. Ducks? I never thought of ducks. So what he did was next monsoon, when monsoon hit, he got ducks. And you know what happened when it rains and when it's flooded? The ducks just enjoy the swim and business flourish. You see, educators, we need to be solution focused if we want to adapt to change. Many of us are so problem focused, we cannot see a solution. I was told of this lovely story that NASA wanted to go to space many years ago, but one of the challenges of going to space is that the pen loses its, functions, and then it's very difficult to write on space. And they say, hey, we need to solve this problem first. And the first way to solve this problem is let's get something that we can write in space. So they did a lot of research and spent a lot of money, millions of money. And then what happened is they managed to, make a pen that can write even in space. And they went to space after spending millions, and that's it. After a few years, the Russian also went to space. They carried pencil. Hey, why did you think about pencil? Sometimes when you're too focused with problems, you don't see a solution. And that is C number 2. If you want to be innovative, we've got to embrace change. C1, collaborative. C2, adapt to change. Now let's talk about C3. Now C3 is to be creative. Because if you want them to be engaged, you've got to be creative. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get, your kids involved. And if the energy in the class is lower, your energy is lower than their energy, you had it. And you see, sometimes what happens is the 9 to 3, they find it more very dull as compared to the 3 to 9. That's the challenge in this 21st century. So I'm gonna show you something about creativity. Okay, I think we'll just do it on the screen. I would have loved to get a whiteboard around, but doesn't matter. Okay, so what you see here is a swimming pool. Now, this young man wanted to go for a swim in a resort. And then what happened is he saw this beautiful, nice, free swimming pool, and that's it. It was a nice, warm, sunny day. So when he went to this pool, that's it. But then he didn't realize on the side was lying, just relaxing, taking sunbath, was a German lady. Okay? So, he was least bothered with a German lady. She was just taking sunbath and he wanted to go for a swim. So what happened is, very good swimmer. Very good swimmer. Now you can suggest me, if you are a good swimmer, how would you swim? Whether, let's see if my pointer works. Whether he goes from here to there, or he goes from here in the middle till there. What do you think? He'll take the middle one, or he'll just go from side to side? If he's a good swimmer. Straight from the middle. So, I've seen it. Everywhere you go, you'll see these good swimmers. They'll go from the middle to the other side. Do you know why they go from the middle? No idea. Do you know why they go from the middle? In their mind, what's going on? I'm a good swimmer. I should swim the longest distance, right? So he takes the middle part thinking it's the longest distance. Now those who teach maths, do you think the middle one is the longest distance or the diagonal is the longest distance? It's the diagonal, but he will not swim diagonally. Why? In India we have this saying, monkey see, monkey do. Maybe when he was learning swimming, he saw this guy going in the middle. Right? Then when he is a good swimmer, he also goes from the middle. Then next he trains somebody else. This guy also goes from the middle. And I've not seen anybody going diagonally. Why? That is the challenge today. We just produce what we see others doing. No creativity involved. Okay, so this fellow decided to do something else. Alright? Now, there's the sun shaded, it was now later afternoon. Half of the swimming pool now is shadowed because it's, in the afternoon now, late afternoon. So only half is left. Now what he did was, what to do now? Now he starts swimming from that end to that end. Again, he comes from this end to that end because he wants to swim in a warm sun, So, now you know what? He started to swim. Where is the problem? You know who's the problem? The German lady. Find it very weird, man. He's swimming like this. He's swimming like this. He's swimming like this. He's swimming like this. She went near him. Why are you swimming weird? Then this swimmer says, what's the problem with you, madam? No, but I want to find out why you're not swimming like this. Why are you swimming like Z? Now you see, this fellow wanted to tell that German lady, it's my life, however I swim, what's your problem? You see, my friend, when we do something different, we are scared of the German lady. What will she say? And that's a problem. Because we have German ladies who will challenge your creativity. And in life, in the process of making the German lady happy, we go and dies our creativity. If we want to be creative, we have to come out of ways and means and don't bother what the German lady says. All right, so that's how creativity dies. So number 3 is we're talking about creativity. So these are the 3 C's. You remember the 3 C's as educators, as leaders? The first C, collaborative. The second C, and the third C, creative. Okay, this is a lovely story of a person who wants to drive a car. So she goes to a learning school. I want to drive a car, excited about a car. And then what happened? Classes starts. And in her class, it's the ABC that she has to learn. Accelerator, brake, clutch. Okay, I've learned what? Accelerator, brake, clutch. Accelerator, brake, clutch. And he started giving some basic knowledge. Okay, this is how you sit. Because you see these guys who are learners. You've seen them? All right. Then this guy has to say, no, you just relax. You don't have to stress yourself. So, correct position, incorrect position, all the theory is done. And then after some time, this young lady learned the art of driving. Wow, I'm driving now. Skills have developed. Now, not only knowledge, she's got skills. And then the instructor is so proud. Our Don Bosco technical schools, driving school. Alice, very proud. She's very good. But after she gained some confidence, this happens. I am a great driver. Now I don't care things are wrong. No signal rules are adhered. No civic sense. Park wherever you want to park. Go whatever mileage. Have you seen things around now? What's going on with the menace around? And then you know what? Some extra stunts also takes place. While driving, you can be on your phone. You can eat. You can wear your lipsticks, and this goes on. And you know what? This is exactly sometimes what happens when we go to our school. We're so focused with knowledge that sometimes that's what you learn in B.Ed, the cash theory. Knowledge. So we don't give only knowledge. We have to give knowledge, we have to give skills, attitude, and then a habit. So that's the reason we really need to really bring in everything to get our class engaged. Not just knowledge. Because when you talk about knowledge, alright, and then at the end of the day, if your student in 30 years is living a life with bad habits, it pains the hearts of teachers. But then our focus was so much on knowledge, but sometimes we miss on the skills, the attitude, the behavior, and the habits. So let's see what we can do. Now, I'm gonna first say, when we talk about knowledge and getting the students engaged, number one thing is we got to realize our perception level. Sometimes the perception of teachers is not on the same page with the perception of the people. Our students are on a different page. Our teachers are on the same different page. Until and unless they're on the same page, it's just very difficult. As I said, so we're gonna go more of student-centric and not teacher-centric. That's the key word in the new education policy. We're talking about experiential learning. And this is where we need to evolve now as educators, as leaders in such a reputed organization. So teachers is always a top-down learning. It's just you have the big picture, but when you bring chunks and all, it's a bottom-up learning. It's time for bottom-up. And there are many exercises, there are many models that I'll not be able to just do in a justice. But then maybe in some few days workshop where God willing can come to your schools and we can do more in details. Anyways, so today we're going to talk the last piece on motivating our students. This is the biggest challenge, right? motivating our students. So, you know your challenge as teachers. This is your biggest challenge. Attention span. They come with a high in 10 minutes, 12 minutes. As you go to your 30 minutes, they've gone down to that low. That is the attention span of students in one of the research. So what do we do? So the three things that we're gonna just touch base this morning as I want my students to be motivated, because motivation is so influenced by meeting first their psychological need. Because if you're not able to meet their psychological needs, learning cannot happen. Students are mostly motivated, as per research, when we first meet their needs. That is very, very important. So we're talking about how do I encourage competency? How do I encourage belonging? And how do I encourage autonomy? So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to only show you a bits and pieces. I'm going to give you tools that you can take back to your schools and bring those engagement, those motivations in your classroom. Many of them are research proven. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can just plug in this, fully informed, mated world, where just at the click of your button with AIs, you can get so much. So we're going to work on these. Okay, the first thing is, how do we encourage competency, sir? Because that is the dream of every principals, to encourage competency or to get competent students. I know all of us, as a father, as a parent, as sisters, as headmasters, we dream about competencies. And when you walk into your class, what do you see? There is the target set, and you got 3-4 students who can reach the goal of competencies, right? You have bright students in the class, good students in the class. On a grade level, they're above the bar, above the line, and then they can easily get the target. But then you all would agree with me, you have the second set of students who are below grade level, right? And this is your challenge in school today. How do I motivate these guys? And they are below the bar. And this is what we do. What do I do now? I know this guy cannot hit that target. So many times what we do, we bring the target level. At least pass to ho jao yaar. At least get some pass mark. I'll give you something, but then please, otherwise you're wasting your parents' money. 2 years you don't understand. You're wasting your life. At least, okay, pass mark, man. At least get pass mark. And the happiest person is you after you get pass mark. Alright? So you bring the target down. I think that is not a healthy practice, because you want to encourage competency. What we can do is, we need to go to scaffolding approach. Okay? And I will give you the list of scaffolding exercises. Go to a scaffolding where a student gradually can take the help of this ladder and then reach the goal. Don't bring the goal down. Keep the goal wherever it is. But through your scaffolding model, you can increase. So I'm going to give you a link. How do you bring the scaffolding? What are the exercises? So you can choose. You can choose the subject you teach. History, mathematics, English, and so on, so forth. Okay? So, I don't know if you have cameras. What you can do is, how do you do encouraging? I'll give you these links. So this is how you encourage competency. Just go to all these links. You will get so many tools how you can encourage competency to your students. So you'll see that number 2. It's called scaffolding for multilingual learners. Just click there. If you know what you can do, just type in Google. You'll get those PDFs. You can choose, go to their links, and then you can get various activities and exercises for you to motivate you students. And how will you encourage competencies to your students? And I've done this scaffolding. One of the exercises is just beautiful. How you help students in English to improve grammar, to improve reading, maths, and so on and so forth. So there are tools available today where you can encourage competency. You don't have to bring the goal down. Keep the goal wherever it is. Create a scaffolding and let your student take that support to reach there. So the first thing, how do we motivate our student, is by encouraging competence, not by bringing down the goal. The second thing we can do is we need to encourage belonging. Because until and unless, this psychological need is met, it's very, very difficult for a student to learn. So encourage belonging is very, very important. Because sometimes there's a saying that says that it doesn't matter how much you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. All right? So this care, this sense of belonging, because a child needs social, social, emotional aspects to be taken care of as well. So this social, emotional balance is where we're most missing out. A student is not just about IQ. What about the EQs? What about the SQs? So the first thing, how do we encourage connectedness? We're talking about some adult support, where I can give him the assurance about his emotional stability, where I can help this child to say, hey, don't worry. I have a younger son who's 11. The emotional failure that he goes, we need to keep encouraging. We need to stand. Hey, son, it's okay to make a mistake. All right? But how do you learn from your mistake? All right? So all these, you practice coaching culture. How do you bring in the coaching? Of course, you're already a mentor. You're already a teacher. Because if you talk about the coaching era, what happened is we are very directive. We are very directive. When we say teachers are very directive. Instructors are slightly next level, but still directive. The world has changed from directive approach. It's moving from directive approach. We're going on. We're touching the facilitative approach. And then we got to be on the other end, called the enabling approach. We fail because we are stuck on to the directive approach. This world will not work with directive approach, leaders. We got to go for a paradigm shift from our directive approach. And how do I go to our enabling approach? We need to give that support. The second is we're talking about positive peer group. How do you encourage them to work as a team? How do you encourage them to function as a team? How to understand all this? All right, I think a lot of things we do in schools, but then these group assignments and activities really help the student about some positive peer group. So you're helping him to develop some social skills. Next, we're talking about how we're gonna really help him to understand his commitment to learning. And the last piece we're talking about, even how do I create the environment for my child to learn and feel belonging, that I belong here. Sometimes we forget that many of our school students aren't so proud of the school they study today. They wish they are on the other school, but of course the ground is not greener on the other side. The second thing is we're gonna encourage them belonging. I promise you, I want to give you tools. How do you encourage belonging in the school today to motivate your students? So I'm gonna give you links because of time. You can go to these links and bring these innovative ideas to your class. All right, encourage belonging to consider this increasing students' connectedness. All right, there are many of these engaging ways. Some of them has brought in music to their classroom. Some of them have brought in these lot of creative ways to engage and motivate students in this classroom. You can just connect to these. And then I like this model that I thought of encourage belonging. They call one and done. The first one, it's called want and done. Means what? You can just go to and show one empathy to one of the students. Hey buddy, you just saw his kicking skills, let's say. Hey man, at one point of time, that was the skill. You can just connect. You just relate to your story. So one empathy can change the life of that kid. So I'm going to help you with 2 and 10 strategy to encourage belonging and in building in relationship. You see the student around and you feel that I want to help these 3-4 students. So what you do is you can practice this talk with the student for 2 minutes for 10 days. But then you don't just say, okay, stop for 10 days. And this guy says, sir, why are you not talking to me the next day anymore? So what you do is, you bring down after 10 days to 1 minute. You identify some of the students and spend 1 minute for 20 days and gradually fading away. And then you understand that you just built in that relationship and you can do wonders in the life of that kid. Encourage belonging. And you can do the third one is they say what you can do is just go to one kid that you've identified and just try to learn 3 things more than just his name and where he stays and what class he is. Just 3 things about that kid. You feel nice. Hey, Father Johnny asked me, how many brothers sisters do you have? The kid just goes gaga, so excited. Sir asked me this. You understand, right? So this is where sense of belonging needs to encourage back in school to motivate the students. The first one is encourage competency to motivate the student. The second thing is encourage belonging. And the third one is encourage autonomy. I think I understand when it talks autonomy, there's a lovely lady called Caitlin Tucker, Dr. Caitlin Tucker. She is bringing a lot of changes in classroom setup. But then I did not intentionally introduce that because she goes to this, they call it station teaching and rotational station teaching. What she does is the importance of autonomy in even setting up your classrooms. How she's done it, Station A, they sit in a round table and this is what she goes and teaches this. At the same time, Station B, they're getting second activity that they're doing. That's what we do in our corporate training, We get these guys, these officers, the andragogy aspects. This is how we train managers. So, but then she brings this beautifully called station teaching, rotational station teaching. I'll give you the link. You can see elaborately how it's done. And you can see how you can implement them in encouraging autonomy in your school. Because if you're talking about experiential learning, you're talking about student-centric, you have to encourage autonomy. Otherwise, NEP is invalid in application. Now, when you talk about it, then there are another aspects of encouraging autonomy. Now, they do this gamification. You can bring in, I'll give you the link, there are a lot of exercises you can do with gamifications, activities that you can bring in your class to motivate your students. So here are the links about, so the first one that I was talking about, Dr. Tucker, he has the whole detail explaining to you. It's called Station Teaching Inspiration. You can bring this. How do you encourage autonomy in your school? Then you can do this link called gamification. It's called Ditch That Textbook. All right. He has the whole book, but then he's got these free activities, exercises where students can just get engaged and learn. So these are some of the links that you can do. So 3 things I want to encourage as we talk to motivate students. Number 1 is encourage competency. Number 2 is we have to encourage belonging. And number 3, we have to encourage autonomy. So on that note, Stephen Covey rightly said that we understand that we have a sphere of influence as teachers. Let's see that sphere of influence. At the same time, there are spheres that you have in control. There are things that is not in your control. let's focus on things that is in your control, and don't get sidelined by things that are not in your control. So as I conclude the talk this morning, I want each and every one of us to leave this place with a commitment to student learning. Now, when we talk about a commitment to student learning, there are 3 words that I want to help you this morning. Okay? They're coming up on screen sooner, but then we need to create, we need to engage, we need to connect. How do we do that? These are the 3 words as you leave this place. I know the 3 C's we started with. Let's close with this. Show me, help me, and let me. So let us do some exercises as we close the session. So I'm going to give you the first exercise. All right, I want you to read. This was a speech given by one of the principals in one of the universities, and just an excerpt of that presentation, that speech of welcoming the students. Okay, I want all of you to read, and then your exercises, I want you to pick up one word from there that strikes you. One word from there that strikes you. Okay, read this, and one word from there that strikes you. Okay, I think done. So what you do is you can turn to a colleague next to you, a friend next to you, and just tell them, this is the word that strikes me, and tell them why. Just turn to a person next to you and tell them, this is the word that strikes me, and tell them why. All right, I think good going. Can one of you share one word that strikes you? Maybe somebody here in the first row? Anybody? Okay, sir. Learning. Why is that so, sir? Life is all about learning. We learn from the cradle and ends in the grave, as the saying goes. Lovely. So it's about learning. Someone else? Someone else, sir? Wisdom. Why, sir? Lovely. And when we apply all that we've learned, it's all that we talk about wisdom. It's the application of what you've learned. It's the applications of knowledge. Thank you so much. And this is what we are there for in every school that we represent. These are the words that you've identified. This is what we want to show our students. And you, if I ask you why, you have the answer why. And this is the goal as we leave this place. The student, this is where we're going to go back and show them. All good? The second thing is, help me. All right? So now you're going to help me. All right? You're going to help me. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this activity called sociometrics. Now, sociometrics is nothing but a parameter or an instrument where you're going to use your body as a measuring tool or a barometer. Okay? You're going to use your body as a barometer. So what you're going to do is, I know you've been sitting for a while, and I'm coming to an end. May I request you to stand up? So what we're going to do is, we're going to use our body as a sociometric. Okay? So when you raise your hand, that means it is 10 out of 10. Okay? I'll ask you a question. This in your thing, this is 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Is that okay? So 10, 0. Okay. So we're going to use our body as a sociometric. Okay. Question is, learning is easy. Okay, we've got father here 10. Okay, father here 10. All right, most of you are showing is a 10. Some of you are giving an 8, a 7. Sir is giving a 5 out of, all right, a 5. So that's a 6. Okay, sir is giving a 6. Okay, keep it down. Keep it down. Okay, my question is for those who says learning is easy and you've given a 10. Can you give me some points? What makes learning easy? And now you're murmuring, so please help me out. Maybe we can pass the mic around. Yeah, one. I got something from here. motivation, because it makes easy because they are motivated. Okay. Sorry, sir. Concentration. Yes, Father. It's available today, so learning is easy. Okay. Because of time, otherwise we can do a lot of discussion in these points. Lovely. But then I have another question for those who score a 1 or a 2 or a 3. You said, no, learning is hard. What makes learning hard? Okay, lack of effort. Okay, lack of effort. Lack of interest. And a lot more. Yes, I mean, a lot more. So you see, the first aspect as we leave this place, my role is to show me. Means my role is to show something to the students, and you've got those lovely words. The second thing is I leave this conference, I go back to my school, my student is saying, help me. Somebody says learning is easy, so I'm helping him. Somebody says learning is hard, I have to help him because he's saying, help me. The first thing when a student comes to your class, you're not hearing his voice. He's saying, show me. Show me wisdom. Show me ethics. Show me leadership. Show me learning. That's our calling. It's not a passion only. It's a calling. Second, the student is saying, help me. Help me, because learning is easy. Please help me. Learning is hard. Please help me. Please take your seat. Thank you so much. Okay, you can do this while sitting. I know I'm... okay, another sociometric. You can do this while sitting, okay? Student learn best from their teacher. Sociometric, from sitting. Up, down. So student learns best from their teachers. Okay, sister, you think that's a 6 or a 7? Okay, sister is giving a 7. Okay, father is giving a 5 or 6 or you're giving a 10 out of 10. Lovely. Okay, keep it down. So student learns best from the teachers. What are the things they learn from the teachers? Now you will, because of time, but you understand, is it just because they learn knowledge? I think it's beyond that, right? Okay, so the third piece is called let me. And this is what I want to close with. May I request some of my volunteers to help me with these chairs, if you can come up. Can I get these chairs up, please? So we got it. Okay, that would be better. Okay. Lovely. So we've got these 4 chairs on stage now. Now, as we conclude, it's called the game of power. Now, let's see. I'll get something here. Maybe this water bottle. Okay? And these are 4 chairs, and some chairs maybe are weak. Some chairs are okay. Some chairs are strong. And then since I'm in license with Father Babu already, Stephen Babu, I request Father. Now I have this very, very important product. It's very dear to me. Okay? And I request Father to go and put this to the chair out of the 4 that he has the confidence that can carry the weight. Okay, just one, because some may be weak, some may be not able to carry this. All right? So, Father will go and put this resource, very valuable product, only in one of the chairs. May I request you, Father? Thank you so much, Father. You can take a seat. Thank you so much. No, now, what Father did was, out of the 4 chairs that he got, he found that this looks sturdy. This looked tough. So he's decided to carry the resources, the valuable product in this chair. What about these chairs? Not that good. Okay. This doesn't have any power. Now, How's the view now? Who's the hero? Who's the actor? Who's in the limelight? This is what is happening in schools today. We have students, but our resources monitor you, speech you, public speaking you, welcome address you, guest is coming you, please you are the prefect you, even topper you only, you just get degree from my school, okay. But then you know what? We miss out this game of power where this child is saying, sir, let me also now. Sir, let me also. Sir, let me also. And many times we get bogged down by focusing on one chair, one student only. And we miss out leaders that does not carry any title. 30 years ago, not even 30, 1992, some 30 years plus, I will not be in the list of leaders, one in the bottom list. But thank God, 3 decades, He raised me to face the country and international. This is what can happen. And you know what? As teachers, I know I want my student to hit like this. And this is what my perception is. This is my heartbeat. I know all of us like this, we want our students when they come to our school. But you know what? As they go through the journey, you want it like this, but this may not be the path to that. But maybe this is the journey. They'll be there, but then it may not be the way you want it. It may be some ups, some downs, but then they'll be there at the end of the day. So on that note, I would like to end my session on getting engaged and motivated here. I hope there's a lovely learning for all of you. Would love to extend my connections with all of you. Be in touch. Would love to come to your schools and help your teachers. This is what we've been doing for a decade now. And you can be in touch with us. You just go to our website, 100footacademy.in. You can be personally in touch with me. You can get my numbers. Robert is there as well. You can mail me. Giving me this privilege to serve you this morning. A big God bless you all. Thank you so much.